Today on Across the Fence, we're getting ready for food, farming, and fun. It's the annual Vermont Farm Show coming up next week at the fairgrounds in Essex Junction. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for choosing Across the Fence. I'm Will Michael. The Vermont Farm Show means different things to different people. For farmers and other agricultural professionals, the show is an opportunity to meet with vendors, scout new machinery, and network within the farming community. The show also holds wide appeal for the general public. There's lots of opportunities to see, taste, and buy Vermont products and participate in the traditional consumer night. And during today's program, we'll touch on all those aspects of the farm show. But to begin, I want to welcome the longtime director of the Vermont Farm Show, Jackie Folsom, is with us. Jackie, I know this is a busy time of year for you, so thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for letting me come in and chat.
What do you look forward to most about the farm show?
I like Thursday afternoon.
When it's over, okay.
You know, it's like a homecoming for our guests. We have a lot of farmers who come in and visit with each other. There's so much buzz going on in both those buildings. And when I hear buzz, I just think that it's people that are enjoying being out, finding their friends and neighbors, checking out new equipment, finding out what's new with the government programs, and just generally having a nice time on a cold January day.
We were talking before the program, and that's exactly it. You've had 8 years in this leadership position, and I know we were talking the various administrations coming through, getting a chance to see people. For the farming community, that is a big piece of it.
It is really, and you know, if you check in with other state farm shows, workshops and seminars are a huge component, but they haven't seemed to work at the Vermont Farm Show because our folks like to visit. They do go to association meetings during the day, but they really like to check out who's wandering the aisles and who they haven't seen in maybe a year.
So what are the key details, when and where?
So we're always the last Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so it's January 29th through January 31st at the Essex Junction Miller Buildings up at the Champlain Valley Exposition. And
if anybody had any questions, it's there on the screen, vtfarmshow.com. Now, we've talked about it. This is a tradition, a celebration of our shared rural heritage. Why is this important in the 21st century?
Well, that's a great question. You know, it started in 1935 as a gathering for the sugar makers and the dairy farmers. And although the sugar makers don't play such a huge role anymore in the program, it is important to have farmers come together and get feeling ready for spring. They can check out seed offerings, they can check out new equipment, and they can also talk to their neighbors about what's going on their farms. And I think just getting out in January, it usually starts the beginning of the association meetings, the beginning of sugaring season, so there's a lot going on in the agricultural community, and I think just coming together for that one big let's have fun day.
Careful, you're making me feel hopeful. You said spring.
I know.
You know, and many of our viewers know, 2018 was really, in the history of dairying, it's one of the worst years possible. That's not just in the conventional, that's organic, it's across the board. Why are the farming community optimistic for 2019, or are you?
I think farmers are some of the most optimistic people that I know. You have to be with what they deal with, the weather, the government, the prices, the commodities. There's a lot going on that folks who aren't in the agricultural community don't necessarily understand. I think they are, I would hope they would be optimistic, again, going into the springtime. Everybody loves the spring, and that's a great thing. But I've also heard that milk prices might be steadying a little bit and maybe even creeping up. We do have an update on dairy issues with Diane Bothfeld on Thursday before the dairy banquet, and there are always 200 to 300 people in that room hoping for a good word.
Well, I'm glad you touched on that. That's one of the many important educational pieces, and as you've said, it's a packed room. Folks are learning about what's happened, but it's an opportunity to look forward.
That's right, and you know, right after that comes the Vermont Dairy Industry Banquet, where they let folks win prizes for good quality milk. Have a couple speakers in there, and they also designate the Dairy Farmer of the Year.
For the past several years, the show has been held at the Champlain Valley Fairgrounds in Essex Junction, and I understand that, well, there was a move a few years back. I don't know if you want to get into that, but the point is that I understand there's been some very steady growth that's occurred since the move to Essex Junction.
We have. Anybody that hasn't visited us up at Essex because they really love the Barry Auditorium area should come up and take a shot at it. It's all on one floor. There's equipment inside and out, and it's just been a really great venue. Our vendors love it. We have heat and light, and it's really a great opportunity to just visit folks who are all on the same floor in both buildings.
And we're seeing some of what you're talking about. A follow-up to that Vermont and Vermont agriculture have certainly changed over the past 70, 80 plus years of the farm show. So what is the farm show today?
The farm show today is a place where farmers can come and meet their neighbors, but it's also a place where we hope consumers come to learn about agriculture. There are just so many innovative technologies that farmers use, from robotic milkers, and I believe we have two different kinds this year. We have one of the robotic milkers actually had a animal cam. They had a barn cam last year that had a live shot of cows being milked on a farm up in Fairfield, I believe, and that is always interesting to people. We have animals there for guests to enjoy, but mostly it's to come and find out what farmers are up to.
So when the doors open on Tuesday, what's new?
One of the things that's really exciting is this is Cabot Creamery's 100th birthday. And so they are partnering with the Vermont Farm Show, and we're going to have a program called the Farm Show Passport Program. And as you enter the building at the visitor's desk, you can pick up a passport, and it's got 8, I believe it's 8, might be 9 booths that you have to go visit. So we're really encouraging people to visit as many vendors as they can, but there are specific vendors that they have to go find. And these vendors will have stamps, and you have to get those stamped and take it over to the Vermont Farm to Plate booth. There will be a drawing live on WDEV on Thursday, and the grand prize is, who could deny this, a year's worth of Cabot cheese. And there will be other prizes that will be announced too, but it just seemed like a fun way to get people into all parts of our buildings.
I love the story. I love the grand prize, and I'm guessing my passport could be a little yogurt, a little ice cream, a little cheese along the way.
I think that would be fun. We'll find out.
What are some of the other events that may not be new that are coming back? Equipment dealers. What are some of the other things and events that are happening?
We have the Vermont beekeepers that will be meeting, and I'm not remembering the dates right, but check it out on our website. The beekeepers actually has grown exponentially. They started out with a couple folks that got together, and now we have a lot of backyard beehive keepers, and so their annual meeting has grown. The Sheep and Goat Association will be meeting. The Vermont beef producers will be meeting. Actually, the Agency of Agriculture has an event that they're asking for RSVPs, and they're going to be doing training on social media for farmers that want to get into marketing. So there's always something going on, and we always have a listing of the events as you walk in the buildings, and of course we have a brochure that you can pick up.
I think people would be surprised. You're mentioning some of those. I'm also remembering the Christmas tree growers.
They are still there.
You talked earlier about the maple producers. That was a time when a lot of our farmers were the maple producers.
That's right.
So again, those are really important professional relationships, and these meetings that take place that get carried away. But to the general public, we don't see them every day, but these are huge parts of our rural economy. They keep our working landscape going.
And I think people who aren't farmers need to understand that these association meetings are also professional development for these folks. They all bring in speakers to teach them about various things in their industry. It's not just sitting there having coffee. It is a learning experience for these folks.
Now, for the farmers, for everyone, this is all free?
Yes, isn't that exciting? It's been free forever since we first started in 1935. It is free parking and free admission, but we are asking for support for the Chittenden Emergency Food Shelf. We've been doing that for a couple years. So if you'd please bring in a boxed or canned good, and we will also have jars if you can't make it to the supermarket that day and you'd like to donate some cash. Over the years, we worked originally with a food bank, and over the 10 years that we've been doing this, we've probably raised a couple tons worth of food and quite a bit of money. So we're very proud of the agricultural community giving back.
Earlier, you mentioned Farm of the Year, and I'm going to point out to our viewers that every year the Farm Show honors the Vermont Dairy Farm of the Year. The 2018 winner is from Berkshire, Vermont, Orland and Bernie Thompson. They ran Ayers Hill Farm for decades before reaching a partial ownership agreement with Orland's daughter, Carrie. The family says it wasn't an easy transition, but they made it work for the sake of the farm and for the next generation.
We're a medium farm, and 200 cows is not where you want to be. You read any magazine, any book, or talk to anybody that's in ag, and 200 cows is like, that's usually where you fail. We're not big enough, and we're too big. We're right in the middle of not working normally, but we've made it work, and I think it's because we keep pushing for the efficient part, getting everything that we can out of what we have.
Financially, we, I guess, are conservative. We don't owe a lot, so we were able to do it in a different way. And then you got to have trust. Is probably one of your bigger features.
There's still discussions to this day. I mean, it's not settled yet. And you want to see them. They work their whole lives for this. And this, and I'm very proud to follow in their footsteps and be able. I mean, they built this, and I'm only here because of what they did. They've supported me through all this, and I, in return, support them. Otherwise, we'd have to sell the farm for them to retire, and nobody really wanted that. I paid the living expenses and a little extra. The best the farm can do, and they get paid before the grain bill gets paid. That's the deal.
Carrie, Orland, and Bernie are proud and humbled to receive this award from their peers, and they'll celebrate their achievement. But this is not a family who rests on their laurels.
This is as much about the Thompsons as it is about Carrie Atherton.
Oh, I think it's more about the Thompsons. This is, I'm seventh generation Thompson. I'm first generation Atherton. I love what I do, and am I doing this for me? No, I'm doing it for the 8th generation, and that's the plan. I'm hoping, I've lost track now because my sister just had another baby, 10 or 11, 12, something like that, grandkids my parents have, and I'm hoping that one of them or two of them can come in and take this over. I mean, that's the whole reason why I'm doing it. Nothing's
easy. It's just if you want to do it. I know she's doing it for the next generation, and you can't plan on anything. I mean, you plan, but don't expect it to go according to plan. Hopefully things will turn out good.
It's still a good life. Even if you got to go down there and milk every day, it's still a good life. If you were doing it for the money, you'd have got out a long time ago. You do it because you enjoy doing it, I guess. Yeah.
Everybody contributed, really. That's what the whole family's about, I guess. Everybody had a goal, and the goal is to let the farm succeed.
That's what they're made for.
And our congratulations once again to Ayers Hill Farm in Berkshire. They'll be honored at the Dairy Farmers Banquet at noon next Thursday. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the annual Farm Show. It's about food, farming, fun, and our guest is the longtime Farm Show director, Jackie Folsom. Jackie, that's a great example, young people in farming, and I know that the Farm Show has historically played a big role in education and scholarships for young people in agriculture. What can you tell us about that?
Well, Wednesday is Blue Jacket Day at the Farm Show. That's when the FFA students come in from all over the state, and it's really exciting. Our vendors have chosen to open up early. We open at 8:30 on Wednesday because they recognize that they want to be able to interact and talk with those students. They will be there all day doing competitions and having their meeting, and it's just great to see the energy and enthusiasm they bring to our industry. We also, over the last couple of years, have supported the 2+2 Farm Program, which is a partnership between Vermont Technical College and UVM College of Ag and Life Sciences. The Vermont Farm Show donated a $40,000 scholarship, which supports one of the students over their tenure at those two schools. And we challenged our vendors to also help. So last year, the vendors actually donated $5,000 towards that. And this year, they have also, even without asking, some of them have chipped in. So we'll be presenting them with a check. The kids, I should say the students, are always our guests at the vendors breakfast on Thursday, so they'll be there bright and early, and then they usually stay for the dairy banquet as guests of the VDIA.
Okay, very quickly, so I have about 30 seconds left. Another food theme is the Consumer Night Capital Cook-Off. What's happening there this year?
surprise protein that they'll be cooking between the Senate, the House, and the Ag Agency. I know there's a little smack talk going on because the Ag Agency has won for the last several years, and the legislative folks don't seem to like that too well. But come and enjoy all the vendors. I believe they've got about 50 different vendors set up. You'll be able to sample their products and also purchase goods right there.
I need to stop us there as we're just about out of time. Our director, Roger Lewis, one more time is going to let our viewers, or remind our viewers, that the Farm Show is coming up on the 29th to the 31st at the Champlain Valley Expo in Essex Junction. All the information you need right there at vtfarmshow.com. Jackie Folsom, thank you very much for spending some time with us this afternoon.
Thanks, Will. I enjoyed it.
That is our program for today. We know you have choices, so thanks for choosing us. I'm Will Michael, inviting you to join us back here each weekday afternoon for another visit across the fence.